Huh?
I know. She had no.
We use these for the lunch. A lot of times people come in.
Forget their cheaters.
Yeah. We make sure they have them.
I'm happy using cheaters after that surgery. That was amazing. Holy- I never wore sunglasses. Now I go outside, I got glasses like. I don't know. When they gave me my hearing aids, they were great, but they drove me nuts. So I like people to look quiet.
I can hear the light.
I could get and that's only because my eyesight was good. She didn't even have to speak. I could look at her and go, oh, God, I blew it. I blew it.
Oh,
But 32 years, she's still putting up with me. Yeah, she got a mellow color, she does.
Yes, she does.
Hey, stay out of it. I don't be back up. Are you close to Zoom over there?
yeah. Just trying to make it bigger.
It started on time. Okay, you do both. You don't have to hear it, 'cause I won't. I'll admit that up front. My wife's phone got a ring that drives the dog nuts, so there's no excuse, no matter her phone rings. I wish they knew that's mine.
That's my grandson's.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's just every time I want to bet it, I try to read it.
Really? That's good. Oh, let's see it. It's done
Showing around your burn.
Yeah, that's my new tattoo.
Anybody else wanna see it?
That's my new tattoo.
Yeah.
Isn't it smarter to heat the object that you use instead of your hands?
You know what? That's what happened to me to talk with your hands. Because you start showing people what they cross.
Amen to that. All right, go ahead, stay standing, Joel.
All right.
7 o'clock, we call the meeting to order, the Milan Township regular monthly meeting on May, whatever it is.
March.
March, yeah, right. Okay, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, I don't even need the glasses. First thing, public comment, 2 minutes. Anybody want to comment? State your name.
My name is Kimberly Akins, and the reason why I'm here tonight is to make sure that the board knows I filed a complaint regarding my neighbor allowing a family of 6 and a dog to live in a travel trailer about 20 feet from my property line that's impeding my privacy. And as things go on, it looks like it's up to me to prove that these people are living there, which I do have some evidence tonight in pictures and video. And I just need a go-to person on who maybe I could supply the stuff to in hopes that the township might just alert their attorneys maybe and try to get this resolved. Get these people off the property.
I'm not gonna discuss anything, but turn it into the board. I know you've talked with Dave. This has been ongoing and somebody will get in touch with you.
Okay,
Just turn it into the board tonight and we'll have a conversation on what's happened and
throw
gone
it
on.
into the board tonight. My evidence, I have to email it to someone.
Okay,
Okay, will do. Thank you.
thank you. Anyone else? Yes.
Al Lindeman, Milan Township. Start with my comments tonight are concerning this big solar project. I've been at several Milan meetings, London meetings, both township board meetings and planning commission meetings. I feel the township is really asking a lot from our PC board as to draw up an ordinance for this big project. It's consuming and overwhelming for these people. Their life is gonna revolve around this project for who knows how long. And usually when you have a big project like this that's being developed, you got a whole office full of legal attorneys, lawyers involved, not 5 appointed citizens. Yes, they can handle most issues that arise in a rural township. A project of this magnitude should not be one of them. I've heard people from other townships that either have a solar array, are in the same process as Milan, and have looked in the future of their township and simply said it's not for us. And that's not what they say it will be, is what these people are telling us. The developer's not working for the township, landowner, neighbors, environment. The developer has one responsibility, and that's to his investors. It needs developed an online ASAP so it can be sold to someone else. The developer does not care if all ordinance criteria is met, if drainages are damaged, if roads are tore up, if buffer zones look appealing. All they want is their last piece of equipment out of the township and the project up and running. This project's too big for small town government anywhere, and the developers know that. They don't want to deal with corporate land or corporate lawyers, so they come to small rural areas. Questions to you guys, you don't have to answer them now. How will you deal with any infractions with the ordinance when they occur? The developer is going to have the township in court at a cost to the township fighting any infractions. Who's going to monitor the day-to-day operations of this development? There should be at least 2 people every day on site that are hired by the township at a cost to the township. You at least need a licensed engineer with a vast background in land development and a site manager that knows and understands the ordinance, state laws, and federal laws concerning this development. Also, an environmental person should watch the day-to-day operation. This is all at a cost to the township. The developer will pay to have themselves policed. I think we all know who that will benefit. They're gonna paint us a great picture, the best you can imagine, but it's not what we're gonna get.
Thank you very much. Anyone else?
Can I go?
What? You have 2 minutes, Ms. Worcester.
All right, thank you. Just going on what, Al said, I went to the consumer meeting today and I talked to, Erie. And they have that 139 acre solar field. Well, that's already been sold to another developer. They're not taking care of it. And even the PC people said they're not taking care of it. So I asked, I says, so who's the enforcer or who's supposed to be taking care of it? And they come back, the builder or whatever.
Zoning officer.
Yeah, friend and the supervisor. Yep, yep. So with that being said, go look at Erie again, because they're in distraught because it's not looking what it's supposed to be. And they're starting to get 250 more acres that's supposed to be developed. Well, guess what they're doing? They're amending their ordinance again. So I think we need to really start looking at putting our ordinance very strict, because as you can see, these LLCs that are coming in, developers, they're not doing what they say. They're gonna promise the moon, but they're gonna deliver something else. So with that being said, that's all. Thank you. I know I got time. I could go on if you want me to.
No.
I'm not sure that's working.
You didn't do that with me.
I think you're right. You went over.
I have it on here too. She has
Oh,
it
well.
on.
Oh, then don't trust me. Thank you, ma'am, for your,
No,
and answers will come at planning commission if you've attended, and public hearings when time comes.
Okay, we just want to be on. that.
Not at liberty, only to take statements tonight.
Sharon Worcester, Greater GCA, Milan Township.
Okay. Anyone else like to speak? State your name, please.
Cheryl Majors, Milan Township. I just wanted to reiterate some of what Al had said. Last night I went to the planning commission meeting and it was pure obvious that every ordinance that we were trying to address, that the changes, there was nothing done about it. Everything was tabled to talk to somebody else. So it's just, the planning commission just needs to step back and look at all the issues that's been going on with these solar companies. It's just too much for this township. It's too much for the township. It would cost too much to get attorneys involved and get all the other people involved to get anything done. I mean, I just hate to see them come in and leave everything and we're responsible for it. And I don't want it all the way around me and have to look at such a big mess.
Yeah.
Us, sorry.
It was your statement time, you can say that.
Whole township.
Get that thing to work yet. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
State your name, please.
Tim Skull, Milan Township. I went to a meeting over in London Township on Monday, and they had an interesting piece of paper laying out there, and I think we need one in this town, or for this board as well. They want to do a survey of all their board members and their planning commission members and see what kind of job they're doing as their job on the board. I think that'd be a great idea. I had turned it over to one of the planning commission members on Tuesday night, and he was supposed to email John Shower. I don't know if he did or not yet, but I'm gonna try to grab another one of them. I give it to the planning commission member. I think that's something that you guys on the board need to figure out how to get it to every township member. And let them do a survey on you guys and see how you guys feel about what they feel about you guys. As far as the solar, as far as the roads, as far as everything in the township, whether they love the township, what they think could be improved in the township, what they want to be denied in the township, all that. That's something that I believe John Shower might have it. I don't know that. He's here tonight. He could probably tell me, but that's something you guys need to. London Township's doing it. Why wouldn't you guys do it?
Suggestion noted. Anybody else, ma'am?
Hi, I'm Amanda Tapie. I'm actually from London Township. I want to touch on a couple of things. What that gentleman had mentioned about having your own planners, engineers, if you do go forward with this project. Not only having a very restrictive ordinance that they have to abide by, but having your own planners and engineers looking over that project. I have to say I disagree when he said making the township pay for it, because absolutely not. We had, I know you know Ag Industries, which took over the old Wholesome. They put in their application a few years back in London Township. The planning commission put on reasonable requests, one of them being seismographs at different neighboring properties. They looked at structures, houses at the neighboring properties. It was at their cost, but the township hired the company. What they did was they got an escrow from Ag Industries, and they took that, the township took that escrow and then paid the company that the township hired. That is the way it should be done. These residents should not have to pay to make sure that these big companies abide by our rules. Another thing is the survey that the other gentleman was just talking about. Yes, I'm a citizen of London Township, but I created that survey. It was my idea. The deputy clerk had asked me to forward what my questions were. And that is the exact survey that I created for them to look over their master plan. Along with, you know, what they think their township should look like in 5, 10, 20, and 30 years. So I would be willing to forward the Word document to anybody.
Thank you, ma'am. Ms. Happy.
Throw it against the wall.
Get a pen glass, it gets hung up, must be humid in here. Anyone else like to speak? State your name, please.
I'm Renee Humes. So I just have this idea. So I've been to a lot of meetings, both in Milan Township and this township and the planning commission and then this one as well. But I didn't used to go to the meetings because I just all assumed y'all were doing, just everything. But I'm not saying that you're not doing everything. I'm just saying that was my thought at the time. But so then now that this comes up, the solar comes up, I keep hearing a lot of people say, I didn't know, I didn't hear, I didn't know. And then Kevin says, well, it was in the paper and it was posted and we sent out an email, or not an email, we sent out a, to the mail, which is fine, except for everybody knows that the mail doesn't work really well and it costs a lot of money to go through the mail. So I just had this idea, like it's been bothering me that people don't know, right? There's a lot of things that people don't know. This is just one thing that people don't know, but like, people might want to know things, but they don't know what they don't know. They don't know to ask, but they don't know stuff. So like you're putting something on the door, that just doesn't make sense to me because who would think to come look at the door if you didn't know there was supposed to be something on the door? So I'm like, this is like an issue. And then you get the paper, so somebody goes to get the newspaper, which is like, okay, so we're supposed to be green and recycling, and then you get the newspaper. Who's got the time to read the whole flipping newspaper? Unless, of course, there's something in the newspaper that you want to read. Then you would look at it and you would read it, but otherwise, it just goes right into the recycle with everything else, right? So, okay, so I'm getting my point, I've only got 2 minutes, I'm trying to get. So my point is that, so like, I have, the company that I work for, we do email marketing, right? And it's just kind of a cool thing, because whenever anybody wants to let their clients, their customers know about something, they just send out an e-blast. And it can go either through email or it can go through text, and it's just like news, right? So I kind of feel like this is like a small, it's not like unreasonable to think that this little township couldn't do like an email basis, because like, does everybody in this room have email? Does everybody text? Right, no, okay, but like, so maybe some people are really old school and they do have the time to look at the newspaper. I'm sorry, I'm not one of them. So I was thinking, well, how do we get everybody's email things? And I know my 2 minutes are up, but you also do have where you could like, when people are coming in for elections, you could say, fill out your email address. And like a whole lot of other things to get emails, and I think it would let people know what's going on. It's a great idea, you should think about it.
Thank you, Renee.
And I'll talk to you after. Just sign that up. For
Please.
Mark Hoagie, Milan Township. We brought the board last month about the Cooper Road Bridge. Did you ever find anything out on that yet, or?
Matt Snell, I can't talk to you. Yeah, I guess I can. It's gotta see what we can do with that release money. They're still trying to figure out because they keep changing what you can do with it. So it's not forgotten. That's the answer I can give you.
Okay.
They were out today checking the bridges too.
Oh, really?
Yes, they were. All right, anybody else?
Just a question.
Name, please.
I'm sorry, Carol Neal, Dennison, Petersburg Road. My family and I are talking about this. We were just wondering if there's gonna be a tax on the, I won't need 2 minutes, I promise you. If there's gonna be a tax on the solar land, the farmland being used as solar, that wouldn't be agriculture because it's gonna be more of a consumer commercial kind of property, and so we feel that that should be adjusted so that the tax on that property is a little bit more increased than what the actual farmland is. Make sense? And then there's another thing that I'll give you if you'd like it, that my brother looked into. It says Minnesota has a tax strategy that kind of makes the solar company pay the tax, because then they have to pay a greater tax because they're making all the money off the solar power instead of the property owner paying the tax. So it's kind of a twofold, that you're throwing it back on them, but the township's making more money and the county's making more money. Would you like this or not?
You can turn that into me and I will pass it on and it will be.
I didn't know if I should give it to the board or the planning commission, so I give it.
Give it to the board and we have a planning commission member, we'll see to it it gets.
Thank you.
And what was your name?
Carol Neal, Neill. Or Dennison, I go by both. Preferably Dennison.
Anybody else? Hearing no one else? Oh,
I would just like, after,
Name,
oh, Tracy. After the solar project is settled, because I don't think you can take on anything more. There's a lot of people seem to be throwing a lot of cans and little plastic alcohol bottles.
Yeah.
On the sides of the roads. And I just think that maybe at some point we could start like a community thing, like a day where people can go and pick up the trash. Like in New Jersey where I used to live, we used to do that. It was really fun with the kids, a little long tractor and a wagon. And then, but the township where I lived would supply the plastic bags, the gloves. And then we have little competitions, what kids could pick up the most or what adults could pick up the most. And I know.
No, we talked about this, so.
Phil could do that.
Oh, but anyway, the point, and the thing that's concerning about it, the thing that's concerning about it is that there's a lot of people that are obviously drinking alcohol while they're driving and then just chucking it out the window, so that's pretty crazy.
that hasn't changed much, believe me.
I paid 50 cents this week.
Thank you very much, that'll be considered.
Saturday mornings are good candy.
I'm trying to be angry.
You guys have returns here, right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that would
On
be.
some, on some,
Oh, okay.
not all.
Okay. Hearing none, we'll move on to our regular business. With the board for the approval of the agenda presented.
Well, are we gonna talk about a planner tonight?
Well, I think we decided, I thought we decided last meeting we were going to check into one.
It's in the paper. I'm waiting for bid. Mr. Shower said we could make it an April planning commission meeting. They will all go to him.
Well, our attorney had suggested Enos from Ann Arbor.
Yes.
And I called Fahey's office, who always has a booth at the MTA, and I've talked to him when we were dealing with the Railroad General Motors project. And he also suggested Enos. And if you put the ad in the Independent, I'm not sure. I think you get what you pay for. Thank you.
Okay. I think it's also going to be on the website and on our site, so.
Yeah, but they're not gonna, companies aren't gonna go to the website, but go ahead.
No. Okay, so how do you do that?
It's getting harder and harder, let me tell you. It used to be the Monroe Evening News, everybody got it, life was simple. Then people quit paying for the paper, reading online, and everything is like. Yeah, yeah, your idea is good, Renee.
Go back on.
We're,
approval, the agenda.
we're back on the agenda, there are no agendas or changes. Make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Been moved and supported, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Minutes, has everyone read the minutes? Any corrections?
Yes, I read the minutes and I read the correction that I requested, but they didn't put the whole item in. I wanted how the people voted.
It wasn't a roll call vote.
I believe it was.
On there, when I played it back myself, but I didn't hear it roll call, but I'll double check that. I'll double check it.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other changes or corrections? Hearing none, a motion will be in order.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes.
I'll second that.
Moved and supported, accept the minutes. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Disbursements.
Okay, we had, between the bills and the payroll, we had total disbursements of $20,374.25. a question. I noticed there was, are you done?
Go ahead.
Um, It was for some bank thing, there was 2 bills, and it looked like you had paid one 2 times.
Yes, I did, and I voided it, and they sent me the check back, that's taken care of.
Thank you.
And you're talking about the digital perspective, I take it,
Uh,
3,000?
No, it was for $100 and some dollars, it wasn't 2,000.
What, wasn't it the alarm company?
Yeah.
I would say the alarm company was the one that was.
This is something to do with the bank.
Was it the
Okay.
US bank with the one with the copier, because the old copier we're still paying? They had wrote us a check for the payoff, but we still had to make the monthly payments. So this month should have been the last payment. Was that the one, because of US bank?
No, there was a charge for, this goes back to the positive Al, whatever,
Oh, that.
positive pay. And they got rejected, their check got rejected to go to them. And so they were charged a fee, and they sent me a bill form, and I had to reimburse them because 2 months in a row, they sent the request for the payment to the bank, the first merchant, and first merchant denied it. So I since caught it all up, and I had to pay them the bank fees that they were charged for the non-sufficient fund check.
This is to the US bank.
Correct.
That's what they're
That's on
saying.
the copier.
Okay. Okay, so you paid it twice, but they reimbursed us.
Yeah.
What happened?
He says yes.
They wrote a check for the balance of the payoff.
The payoff.
You're talking about the new, on the new one. You're
For
talking
the,
about.
when they came
Carol.
and got the old one,
Okay. But she's talking, US Bank
yes,
had it automatically taken out.
yes,
2 months in a row, it was not taken out. So US Bank
Yes.
was charged for
Late fee.
applying for the
yes,
payment, and it didn't get paid, and so they were charged money. So I had to reimburse them, and then I reimbursed them the money that we owed them for the old payments. Okay,
It was over the copier.
because I had to get that caught up before we can start the payments on the new one.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Any other question? Hearing none, motion will be in order.
I'll make a motion to accept the bank report.
I'll second that.
Moved and supported, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
All same sign, motion carries. All right, fund balance report time.
General fund 252,077. Tax account is 982,314. Fire fund is 60,645. Road fund is 75,240 for 1.3. $1,370,277. If you look at the bottom there, the COVID relief, because people were asking about the COVID relief money. It's still in the old national, but I split it so you can see it. So you know how much is in there. Which is your COVID relief money, you have $79,548. Split it so you can see it.
Any questions?
I make a motion to accept the report.
I'll support it. Moved and supported, accept the fund balance report, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Aye, both same sign, motion carries.
I will have to, can I say one more thing on that?
Yeah,
The $982,000 in the tax account, that's all been dispersed. That just happens to be the 1st of March, it's already been,
yeah.
yeah, so everything's different, but this is 1st of March.
The end of February.
Okay, Olga, building report.
home February building report. No permits were issued during February. David Friend worked 6 hours at the hall. He reviewed 1 land split and made 3 inspections. Donald Olszewski made 1 mechanical inspection. Ryan Olszewski made 1 plumbing inspection. There was no electrical inspection. Expenses for February total $415.75 in the building report.
Any questions?
I make a motion to accept the report.
I'll second that.
Moved and supported, accept the building report. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Better. The assessors report. Is Karen on?
Oh, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, you can't hear me?
Nope.
No?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Hello. Okay. Let me open my report here. Field work will resume in April 2022. I'll begin with analyzing the residential sales for the 2023 assessment roll. Time is really flying by. I processed personal property statements and exemption report requests for 2022. I processed 3 eligible manufacturing personal property exemptions. Assessment change notices were mailed on February 28th. I finalized valuation data and maps for the 2022 roll. The 2022 assessment roll was finalized and froze assessors' values and turned the roll over to the Board of Review on Tuesday at their meeting. And I will assist next week with the appeal hearings, which are scheduled for March 16th and March 17th. I prepared the land division approval letter for the Straubs, and I completed the Milan Area Fire Department participation percentage report and emailed it to the fire department. Looking ahead, I'll balance with Joel for final settlement and sign the warrant. And then we'll file and finalize the assessment roll and other required reports with the Monroe County Equalization Department and the State Tax Commission. And that'll be it for this year. Can you hear me?
They got a question?
Yeah.
Hearing none, I'll make a motion to accept the assessors report.
I'll second that.
Moved and supported, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. Milan Area Fire Department report, nothing to report. The meeting will now be April 7th. They had conflicting problems with the March meeting and they moved it to April 7th, so there's no report there. Moving on to unfinished business. We got the you want to put unfinished business for the bids from lawn care? Have you received
I've
them?
received them, yeah. We got one from R&R, I guess it is.
That's Rick Sweet.
Lawn care, lawn service. And then we also got one from Rick that we've been using.
Rick, okay.
R&R, okay, they did $17,680. And Rick did $21,080.
Did they have apples and apples to compare so that we know? Okay. Just making sure that. $4,600 difference. Oh, I believe you. I just,
Where the discrepancy or the difference that I'm seeing, like, I'm sorry, I haven't looked at these. Lawn care for the cemetery is lower. And the lawn care for Spalding is lower. Okay, Spalding is lower here. We've got the hall lower.
he's on 34 weeks. He doesn't. I'm just making sure they all match up. 620.
He doesn't have rice on here.
You know, race is here, Dennison Road, he called it.
Oh, okay. Is Daniel Dennison? Oh, where's the Daniel? Oh, it's Daniel. Okay. So they're all there.
Well, does the board members want to look at it? There's a 40, what did they say, $4,600 difference.
For the same work.
We hope.
When is Rick's dated? Was it before Putin took charge?
He said it in January,
That was before.
before one.
Before the war in Ukraine.
Oh, yeah.
It was before
Well, this
$6
came-
gas.
Okay, this came. And his estimate was as of February 9th.
So they're both apples to apples?
There's apples to apples.
It's actually $3,400 difference.
Was, okay,
I did my head,
the
that's why I'm not
prices
the
didn't go
treasurer.
up February 9th, did they?
No, they just went up recently.
Okay. So, lawn service was in January, as of January 20th. And
Close enough that Putin's not gonna make that big a difference.
and I haven't, you know,
If it was a couple $100, I'd say that would be one thing, but it's kind of hard to argue with, what'd you say, 3,600?
$3,400.
34.
Yeah, apples to apples, $3,400 savings.
Were they both from the area?
Huh?
Are they both from the area?
Yes,
Oh,
Who's our?
well, Rick is kind of from Petersburg more, but he's been doing it the last few years. And he's done a fantastic job, not saying R&R won't, but Rick does good work. According to his ads and people. But in fairness, bids were put out and he came in. I think it's our responsibility to accept the lower bid.
Who's R&R?
Rick Sweet, Rick's Lawn Service, not Rick's Lawn Service.
it's called R&R Lawn Care.
Or the Dundee.
Okay,
No, they're Milan Township right here.
yes.
Cooper and Platt,
I'm sorry.
so
Is everybody supposed to comment? Okay,
what, it's
okay.
$3,400, we're just making sure we do the right thing. I'll make the motion to approve the low bid.
I'll second that.
Clerk, I'm gonna call the roll.
Yes, it's, okay, where we go? No motion. Okay. Treasurer Gats, how do you vote, yea or nay?
Yay.
Olga? how do you
No,
vote?
no.
No. Bill? Yea or nay?
Yay,
Bob?
Yay.
Okay, and I vote yea.
well, it passes. I hope that he can live up to Rick Lawn Care's dedication and service he did. If he did, it's a good job and stuff, but you gotta go with the numbers.
And I will send him a note, let him know and thank him for his past service.
I would appreciate that. Okay. Let's see. I guess we'll just move to new business. Which is, that down here, Michigan Association of Municipal Cemeteries, dues and conference.
Yes.
What is,
Okay, Olga and I joined this, what, 2 years ago? Okay, I think it was 2 years ago. And our memberships are doing good, but they're going to be holding, my main thing, we do need to vote whether we're gonna pay for another year, but it's not due until the end of the year. So I wasn't gonna bring that up tonight. But they're holding a conference. And it's at the Bavarian Inn in Frankenmuth. It's the 17th, 18th, and 19th of August. But they want you to start getting stuff in. So I just wanted to know how the board felt.
what What is to be accomplished at this? What do they,
Okay, the problem is,
the latest and greatest things
so
or?
what they'll do is update us on all of the laws, any law changes in the cemetery. You know, what you can do in them and what you can't. And, we went to it last year, was it Olga?
Yes.
And we learned a lot. I mean, they bring a lot of information about it. But you know, I don't know if you want us to go again this year or it's
How much is it?
okay, it's $139. That includes your all the presentation and meals.
That's good for the year.
Mhm.
And you get access to all their information and
Well, this is for the conference. So
the dudes.
the
It
dues
said
are only
dues
$40.
in- Well, we're still working on rice,
Yes, we
so
are.
you might as well go learn what you can one more year. I've got no problem with the dudes having you stay involved in it in the conference. Go see if it's something, if you miss it, it might be important, so. What do you think, Bob?
I think more than one of us should know something about cemeteries. Just so we don't run into any, thing
Well,
with
these
this.
two are already been going to it,
That's what
so
I was thinking.
motion be in order to,
All right, I'll make a motion that we pay for 2 conference slots.
and their dues. Well, I haven't done, they gotta pay the dues to go to the conference.
We need to
never mind.
deal with that separately, I think.
I'll support it. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye,
Don't I have to do a roll call vote? Is that money?
yep, you're right.
But I don't understand. I can't believe that it would only cost $140-some.
Well, it's not overnight,
That's
is it?
it's for 3 days, Olga.
Oh, really?
It includes the meals.
I might go.
And all of the information they give us. Yeah, I gave you a copy of what they sent me, I can only tell you what's here.
I don't know, seems like a deal.
Jump on it.
That's what I thought when I saw it after. But it tells me, and I have to
All
believe.
right, call the roll, please.
Okay, I'm sorry. Treasurer Gotts, how do you vote, yea or nay?
Yay.
Okay, Olga, how do you vote?
Yes.
Yep,
Yes.
Okay. Oh,
it passes.
Just be well.
Now,
informed
I'll
when you
make a
come back.
motion that we pay the dues for the cemetery, municipal cemeteries.
I'll support that one.
okay.
Spend the money again.
Okay, Joel, how do you vote?
Yay.
Okay, Olga,
Yes.
Bill?
Yeah,
Yes.
Okay. And who seconded the dues one? I'm sorry.
I did.
Oh, okay, you did both of them, okay. Okay.
Ready?
Mhm.
Okay, while we're on cemeteries. Better need one. Talked with Ann Sweet. She sent me the correspondence. She's been in touch with Andrew.
Okay.
And someplace, some things went a little bit amok. Andrew was on vacation. He just got back. Let's see. I really need to see about wintering down. Barb got this while I was away, and I'll need you to help with getting this done. I will use my ancestry account and so forth to see what I can find out. If we can go over the paper we have in a few weeks. Any questions, let me know.
Who's this from?
Huh?
Who's this from?
Andrew Nolan, you're
Oh,
saying,
Andrew? Okay,
you're,
I have, yeah,
but he said you sent a letter to somebody instead of him. And they, for the historical markers,
mhm.
And he wanted that turned into him, but he never heard back from you.
I've given
And,
it to it.
and so, well, I'm
Okay,
reading it here in
that's fine.
black and white.
Okay.
And somebody named Troy had an opportunity to review it, a market graduate intern. So now he feels it's going to be at least a year. Before this process will play out, so
Okay.
going
What date did you send it?
March 9th,
Oh, okay.
what, 2 days ago?
Okay,
That's
I didn't get it.
No, this came from Ann, this is what she gave me,
Oh, and to you, okay.
and going back to the Arch Cemetery name that you were speaking of. You can't find a person living yet that remembers it being at Rice Cemetery.
Good.
Ann doesn't remember it, she talked with older members of her family, and they do not remember a cement arch type, they remember gates.
Wasn't it a black wrought iron gate?
It was a
Yeah.
oval.
And it had Rice Cemetery.
Place. I do not have a copy of the historical marker application paper, hopefully Barb made and saved a copy. Because she mailed it in with my check for $250. Maybe it was just Ann telling me, but the gates they remember, but somebody told Andrew there was a cement arch. Yeah, one of them, like on the Adams family, is all I could picture, where they,
So why is this relevant? Why do we need to know there was a cement arch there? Were you gonna put a new one back up?
not an arch, but a marker for the cemetery with this history, a little history on it. And they were just going back to, well, it gets detailed on this one, moved here and gave it to so-and-so, and then they gave it to the township and how it went on, so it's basically just a progressive, informative information on the cemetery history. But, the gates and stuff, yeah, them disappeared, and said quite a few years ago, but when the gates disappeared, but that's what the correspondence I got from the question. So it's in Andrew's hands, he'll be getting in contact with us and let us know what is progressing on the marker part. So that's the update on him.
Okay, well, you skipped over, okay, so while we're talking cemetery, sent me a thing, she was wanting to know if anybody knew if any important figures were buried in Rice.
They're all important.
Yeah. No, I understand that, but I think she's talking about for the marker, so we can put in history, so-and-so, from some war or something.
Well, what we gotta do now is get the historical place to even agree to talk to us, and we'll continue to work on finding. Cause there's like John C. Cone from Cone that's buried out there. It depends on what dignity, what do you wanna classify as a dignitary? I mean,
do we have any war here?
no, Ulysses S. Grant or nobody's over there, I've not seen any of them. So, if they were war hero, somebody forgot to carry on and mark it. So everybody there that was previous to lately is at least got a marker and where they're supposed to be. Now we're just trying to figure out who was and where, so.
But Andrew sent me that because I think it has something to do with maybe trying to rush the marker thing up.
I don't know, he'll be in contact, we'll find out. So it should
Okay.
be.
Okay, so moving on, while we're still on the cemetery then. I was wondering, the Monroe Conservation District sells trees. And we have up until
Tomorrow, on Saturday.
March 18th.
which is that probably.
That's for the flowers and it, yeah.
Okay, it says March 18th. They have the trees, and I was wondering, and I had talked to Kevin about it, about maybe ordering trees from there to put along the edge where the field is. And then also maybe along the drive in between the two.
Not between the two, because they want to mow right through there, and then the idea of contingency is,
Okay, well, what about just getting trees for around the back and the edge there?
How much are they?
Well, we can get 100 trees, depending on what kind you want, for $45 to $48. And they're,
they were just yearlings.
yeah.
Yeah.
Some of them are 2 years old. Yeah. $80 for the white pine, and they're, okay, most of them are 10 to 18 inches, 12 to 18 inches. 7 to 12 inches, 10 to 18 inches. Now the white pines are 8 to 12, but they're $80 for 100.
I'm for holding off on it right now this year.
I am too, because in going to that cemetery conference, there was a lot of discussion about trees and falling over and damaging stones. So to me, we're just buying trouble.
I agree.
But
now they're-
Can I see that?
But now they're planting people and cones and road trees, so.
I have them. They were
I
over.
planted 100 of them little saplings in my yard and they do not like the clay.
I gonna say you got 10 of them that live?
None.
No, okay.
We planted 50 of them at Ashley's house last year on Wabash, and she probably has about 25 or 30 of them that.
That's not our clay over there. All right, I make a motion to hold off on that.
I'll second that.
All in favor, aye?
Right.
Both same sign, motion carries. Okay, Michigan Township participating plan board of directors election.
Okay. I'm not real sure what this is. I've never heard of it. Okay.
First I've heard of it.
I thought I sent all of you a copy of that in the email. Because I've never heard of it, I didn't know what it was. And so when I put it on the agenda, I sent you all a copy of it, because I thought maybe you'd know what it is.
I think we went through this quite a few years ago. And for a lack of a better word, it's just somebody having a.
It's just like the kind of like Farm Bureau, but, or the, what's the other one I'm thinking of? If you want to be an officer in that, because they're at MTA and they do send us information that we have over
Right,
there.
but we're not big time participants. in
That's
it.
all it is their election for officers. So if you want to
We're
run
looking
for
for
office
numbers.
or,
If
People
you want to
like,
run, we just need to
Right.
let them know. If you don't,
that's,
You wanna run, Phil?
no,
I'll put your name on there.
I make a motion to not accept any of this.
Okay.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. But yeah, that is like, it's kind of like the Farm Bureau big time. Okay. Tom McGinnigan,
Can I wait 1 minute and go back to the ordinances? I mean, cemetery.
okay.
Okay. I've asked if any of you have any changes to the cemetery ordinance. I've not received anything from any of you. I do have some suggestions that I have gone through and done. And I wish somebody would send me what they would like so that I can get this.
I looked at it the other day, I didn't have any changes that really stuck out there.
And that's what I told you, other than the clarification of the word plot, lot, and grave.
Okay, there's a few things other than that, like, under section 2, We have the cemetery plots will have 8 graves, you only have 4, so that has to be changed.
Okay,
A, B, C, D. Okay, under the sale of the lots. Okay, it says, a person who is a resident township or owner of land situated in Milan Township for the purpose of burial of such a purchaser or his or her spouse, and former spouse or heir at law. So,
Bill, would you excuse me? I'm sorry, I have an emergency.
go. Your
I
excuse.
mean, I can, we'll fill all of these out if anybody would like to see what I suggest, and maybe next meeting we can, or I'll table it, so,
How many you got? Because we just do them right now.
well, I've got several of them. Okay, we need qualified person, we need a definition of that.
You just read it. An
Okay,
heir, an owner, or something with a qualified person.
an heir, owner, okay, what about a former spouse?
They spent time with the resident and paid taxes here. They keep your name when they divorce you.
Okay.
But
Okay, individual graves, okay.
I think she should table it and spell it out so you guys can all have a copy, because
And if you
it's
have
just like the
any-
ordinance. You need to have, that's your interpretation, but you need to have that spelled out, because the next group of people that come along may not interpret it quite that way. So you really need to have it spelled out. And so
I could, yeah, well, I'll definitely go through and look it over line by line. The main thing I wanted to see done was clarification of the word grave. So nobody came in and said, I'll take 2 lots, which gives them 16 graves.
No, that's why we need to change it to 4, 2 lots.
Or 4,
8.
either way, if you read it as it's written,
But again, it should make copies so you guys can see it, so you're not just talking.
with
and-
with the mark like you got to change it, so we're aware of it.
Well, if anybody else says anything, let me know.
We'll table it till then.
Okay.
Okay, Rice Cemetery, change of Rice Cemetery, we got that. Budget for 22.
What about Thomas Spaghetti?
He's not here. He didn't show. So we'll move on to the budget for 22-23. And we need to approve the assessor's contract renewal,
Correct?
all in one.
Bill,
No,
please excuse my interruption. One of my brothers is in emergency in Midland, so there's a call on there. Otherwise, I would not disrupt the meeting.
You're fine, it's, we all here understand that, that's not understandable, and if you've gotta go, feel free.
No, it's
Okay,
Midland, but they had to call me.
well, hope everything goes well for them.
Good enough for now.
We're just getting to the budget part.
Okay.
Pretty much, anybody got anything they wanna say after we've done our preliminaries and our go-overs, and
I think it looks pretty good.
It's just about as close to last year, so.
You know, we talked about the changes we needed, and I think we all more or less agreed on them.
I do too, so the way this is in here, approving of the budget for 22-23 slash assessors renewal, I think we should get separate.
it is, but we're talking about the money here in the budget, so I just wanted to,
That was what I was gonna ask, make sure that
we have to vote in the budget and then her renewal.
okay,
Well, are we gonna talk about the budget, what we've done?
has anybody got any questions where we moved anything or what we did? If you have something we need to know, I'm willing to discuss it. We've been operating within our budget for the last few years. Minor changes to, as they call it, tweak it, to change a line item here, or you overspent But we're pretty darn close where we haven't had much, so I kind of thought at our budget meeting we had agreed on that.
But maybe our residents need to know.
What, do the residents have anything on our budget?
No, I want them to know about the pay raises.
Okay, let me read what we did.
Oh,
Please.
Yeah, she's got
Thank
it.
you.
She's
Okay.
got it written down.
All board members, 6% increase. All per diems increased by 3%. All chairmen of commissions increased by 3%. Both deputies increased by $2 per hour. Building inspector hourly fee went up $2. All election workers, our hourly fee went up by $2. The permit issue fee went up by $5. And we also voted, or is in the budget, all meetings attended by township personnel to be paid a per diem now. Now, that hasn't been in there before. Anything else you want to add?
Anybody got a question on that?
I have something, Phil.
Okay,
We should probably point out that we have managed to free up some more money for the roads. So we're gonna try and do more road stuff this year.
we managed to free up a lot more than we'd hoped, and thank you to the residents that voted for the road millage, helped tremendously also. And I think you'll see that more work getting done on some, and
So I need to add that.
some that need a lot more work, so
So freed up the money for the
we're almost.
one of funds, okay. You want that added, what we did?
Is that public?
Yeah, we freed up
Is
money.
that public for everybody? Can we get a copy of your guys' of the raises?
Yes,
Okay.
That was my question.
because he spoke out loud, you've been behaving better than Tim.
He just asked me if there was any questions. So,
Hey, we truly are all friends here, let's keep it light.
If you want to see the budget, you're welcome to come in. It will take effect April.
Once, if you make the changes, I can put it on the website too.
Okay.
Please.
There you go. There you go, it'll be right there on that email.
Or you can come in. Office available for all. Anything else, all we want?
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, I'll make a motion to accept the proposed 22-23 budget as presented. All in favor? Say aye. Opposed,
Isn't
same
that a
sign.
spend money thing?
You know what?
Is that, do we need a roll call vote on that?
Probably.
Okay,
Wouldn't hurt,
It
I'm,
wouldn't hurt.
all right. Joel, how do you vote?
Yes.
Olga,
Yes.
yes,
Bill,
Yes.
okay,
Barb,
yes,
can't let you sneak out of it.
keep trying to.
Okay, now the assessor, renewal of the assessor's contract. Do you have a copy of the contract with you?
Yes, I do.
Okay, because I know.
She wants it, has requested an increase, and she based it on the surrounding areas assessor fee. And so it's falling right in line with what she does. She asked to have it increased. And it's 13. Raised to $2,100 a month from $1,925 a month.
Which I will say for anybody in this room that doesn't know, our assessor Karen. She came in here and hired in, and it's the first time in the time I can remember for the township that we ever passed a review or was in line for anything. Monroe County uses her work as an example. Amanda, I know she'd been over there to help before. Huh? I know you.
She's
Well, I-
superior.
The state
She's,
hired her to.
she's there, well, the thing is, in that contract, way she did her thing. She went with surrounding areas, who's paying them X amount of dollars straight. And then they're having an assistant to help. And some of these townships are paying $40,000 and $50,000 before it's all done. Prior to that, 4 years, the Monroe County didn't fare so well on the assessment deal, and the only one to pass it was here in Lee, Milan Township. And it cost the other township like $60,000 to $80,000 to have the state come do it.
Sounds like you should give it.
Well, I just want to know that
She's good.
1,900 to 20, oh god, $200 a month. She's irreplaceable. I can't say enough for her. And I'd like to see London say the same thing, but I definitely, I want her to give her more. But
Oh, yeah. You can.
yeah, I can't, good one, Joe. I make a motion to accept the contract as presented to us by the assessor for renewal.
I'll second that.
And we better do roll call again.
Yeah, I, yes.
Okay. Olga,
Yes.
Bill,
Yeah,
Bob, okay,
Yes.
yeah,
Barb,
carry.
motion carried, there we go. Yeah, I can't say enough good about she is. She'll be in for our board of review and she knows every nook, cranny, angle and answer, so. Now. Clerk, do you have anything to say?
Nope.
No. Treasure got.
No, I'm good. I think everything's going well.
Trustee Ramsey.
Nothing.
No, Bob.
No issues tonight. Unless I want to complain about my road, but all the roads are crap.
Oh,
Thank you. Any staff member of the board?
Yeah.
That's you.
The ARPA funds, the 79 some thousand. I got a thing, I didn't copy it because I just got it yesterday when I stopped in, or earlier today. We can use them, it's, I gotta double check, but it does say road projects.
Project, that's where this tricky part is.
Right, I wanna make sure we define what those projects are, but I believe that we're gonna be able to add that
To the road money.
to the road money.
That's what Matt said, so that's what I said in the beginning. It's all in wording, it's projects, not improvements, it's stupid.
didn't it also say, equipment?
They don't know.
Yeah, it's
They
a,
don't know.
it's an equipment, it's a, you know.
Yeah, but we don't have playground
I
equipment.
made a copy, but I was, no, I meant like computers.
And I would like a new laptop. I don't
Yeah, me
know.
too.
Me too.
Okay.
Tablet.
I'm with you. Easier to
Joe, would
carry.
you like a new laptop?
I haven't used the one I got, because I do it all right here.
Okay,
And if you really need to call me at home for your
I
taxes.
tried to use the one that I was given, and,
That was an antique.
Chris said it was so old.
If
And
if it'll benefit you, the price of computers now, through Chris, and it lets you do something, I say get it. I don't want to volunteer to buy it, Joe,
I mean, if we.
but for what they cost and what she does, I think it is an antique. Everybody's got, I use my
Fine,
own.
let's replace it.
Have Chris replace it.
Okay.
That sounds logical,
Sure. Can we take it out of the ARPA?
huh?
Take it out of the ARPA? The American.
What I'm gonna say, maybe I'm wrong, it's normal. We haven't clarified the article yet, but get it. And if it costs you $100, and then we find out ARCA can pay for it, we'll transfer the 100 from ARCA into the general fund or whatever it takes to make it identifiable. But just,
We can always take it out of capital expenses.
well, I'm saying it's not. All right, what else, Kevin?
so I was just gonna say, Joel's phone isn't working, which I got one more thing to try, but, and then I wanna ask Chris, because they tell me that there's a buffer. And when I bring my internet from home, it doesn't do it. And I guess she was just telling me it's not doing it tonight, so we don't know if it's some interference from somebody that maybe sits here or what, but it didn't do it when I brought my own. So I wanted to ask him about, which I presented to you guys before doing it, but I want to at least ask him about
Upgrade.
like a repeater thing. No, just because you got internet there, but it's just,
Well, ask them while he's here because through Verizon, they're upgrading all of their 5G.
okay, well, anyway, all I was gonna do was ask if you had any other things you wanted me to ask Chris while he's here.
Well, ask Verizon, ask Chris if your repeater gizmo will be compatible with the new 5G, because they've just eliminated all 3G.
Right.
And they're cutting up some of the 4G. So I don't want to get a repeater that works good on this outfit and in 2 months have it shut. It's gonna be shut down and not work with the internet, so just ask him all the stuff that we don't know to tell us what to do. Okay, uh-oh. Anything else? Public comment time again.
Nothing for you.
I've said my piece most of the way. Just an update, somebody asked me, Milwaukee Road Bridge is still a year ahead of schedule and maybe looking at and doing something. By late spring, they want to have one lane open with traffic lights on it for traffic control. And then they'll switch that over and then they have to pre-order beams. But the bottom line is they hope to have it done by late fall, which is a year ahead of when they originally said. So, Al,
Did you say this spring?
I know, isn't that believable?
Are they,
It hasn't happened yet.
they gonna replace the whole bridge? Or
No.
They just gonna replace what?
Northbound side, where it was hit, the first ones are gonna probably do like they did out here, patch and do something. But they said the southbound are gonna replace some beams. So I think what happened with the ones they're gonna replace, and nobody knows, I talked to Matt, which talked to Frank, which talked with Matt Chenoweth, and one of them deals. But where they were hit, they feel they can straighten them, but be on the southbound side, when these were hit, it kind of messed up the southbound side, so. He just said northbound and southbound and one lane traffic is done by late fall. So I'm just giving you, wiggling the carrot out there in front of everybody. Other than that, if this project thing works out, we'll be doing some more ditch cleaning and more berm removal and stuff that we didn't plan on. Go ahead, Sharon.
Can I?
Yeah,
Okay.
1 minute.
Okay. What about the bridge on county, is it county line? Is there anything on that? You were talking about extra money. Could that be used as a project?
No, good question, no. Up by Ings.
Yeah.
It can't be used on a bridge,
Okay, that's what I was.
but it can be used as a project possibly.
The road.
It'll have to be built because it's been abandoned so long. So that's the sneaky squirrely part about wording. The bridge did make the critical bridge list and actually got brought into the limelight again, and that's what I've been out there, met with them, looked at it, and so, okay, another one.
And then you just said something about cleaning. Oh, wait a second, you were talking to.
That's why I waited till I showed up.
Okay, and then what about all cleaning out the ditches? You were just saying, because there is a lot of trash on Cone Road that has furniture in it, and I don't think it's gonna go around a round cement culvert, so we're gonna look at flooding eventually, if not already.
I would say like already.
Well, pretty soon, it's rain, sorry.
There's hopefully cleanup days, some of us will be nice and pick that up and bring it down and get rid of it.
Okay.
The
So
one
we're
at
waiting
Petersburg and Cone.
till Stevens is here then? Is that when we're gonna take this?
April 23rd, I think, yeah.
So it's a whole month.
So it's
I've
gonna.
been there for 2 months, so another month.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
Yeah, and then, can we, so do you have a plan for cleaning out all these ditches or,
no, we do not.
okay, do we?
That turns into,
Who does it?
well, drain commission, road commission.
So Monroe.
They all have things, but we'll have to hire for dirt roads, for roads we try to, main roads, you try to get the road commission.
Okay,
And then anything that comes in out of farms that dips into the drain commission gets to, and that's why you get assessments.
okay, because where Ardings used to live, that is a bad area right through there.
Yeah, especially when you get to the Petersburg Road
Right.
culvert.
Residents there.
Well, yeah.
Because it floods really
because,
fast.
I can't tell you how many times I've had the road commission out there at Petersburg Road. And showed them water coming across the road on the west side and nothing on the east side. Where it can't get through there, it's choked up.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, even if we used all $79,000 on one ditch, it probably wouldn't do half of one, the way things go. It's
Well, maybe
absolutely,
just to keep it, sorry.
Yeah.
it's in the process. We're looking at all kinds of, let me put it that way, we're looking at what to do and how to do it, and where the money will be best spent.
I guess it's when are you going to do it? That's the,
Sharon,
that's the whole.
I think you should tell everybody, anybody can, like that, if you know of an area that's bad,
Do I have to fill out a paper?
email it, so like probably Barb, so that way she can put it on the record, you know, anything like the ditches or whatever, a road, pothole, something that should be
Should it
fixed.
be in your minutes?
Yeah, but what I mean is, yeah, that is, but if you know something else, if you go home and say, oh, well, over here,
Oh,
it was
something
flooding.
else. Okay.
If you, because they gotta come up with the list of possible areas where to do it. So if they know from the citizens of where a bad part is, you can let them know,
Okay,
so
all
they
right.
can put it on that list.
So if it doesn't get to Barb, it won't get done then.
No, I'm not saying that, I'm just saying that she's the keeper of
Sheriff,
the
let me
book,
tell
so.
you, this thing, it don't need email, this thing rings off the hook with every pothole, and
Yeah, okay.
my number's on. My office number is that cell phone that I sleep with, so I hear about all
Okay,
of them. And
Mr.
some people,
Rose,
it
send it to him.
let's see.
I'll take it, that's what,
No,
I,
send it to him. He handles it.
I get texts and
Okay,
everything.
this is telling me a lot. Okay, and then is there any way that I could get the treasurer report of how much we have, like, what the township has? There was
Yeah.
one there. Maybe I didn't have one.
Yeah, we'll
Okay,
get
thank you.
you.
You can
And
get,
then,
yeah,
can I have a budget, well, of
Yeah.
the raises too, just a copy?
Yeah.
Okay,
The budget's gonna be on the website.
okay, and not being mean or anything, but
Yeah.
could we have a handout at the door, just so that we can follow along?
well, normally there is, I don't know what happened tonight on the budget papers.
Okay, I mean, I'm just,
We're not hiding nothing,
okay,
I'll get to you.
and, that is pretty much it, thank you.
See, I never turned the glass on, I gave you extra.
There, 5 minutes, okay.
Tim.
You did good.
I've been waiting 2 years for someone to come look at my ditch over there on Ostrander Road, where that farmer put in that extra culvert and never did it on a Sunday. And now my ditch don't drain for the last probably 4 or 5 years. On the other side, it's perfect. But from the entrance going into the field, you know where I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
It has not been addressed. And my yard,
I will personally talk to Chris Stanley and see what can be done about
I've
that.
even stopped the road commission and asked them about it.
Road commission drivers are good people, but they're employees. So go easy on them.
My other question is, who is your blight ordinance enforcer?
David Friend.
Are we looking at? What's this last name? Brent.
Take a ride down the Irvin Road, go look at all the cars sitting in people's yards that don't have license plates on
That's one thing.
We have to have, it's a written complaint driven
Yes.
ordinance.
A written,
them. You need a written complaint?
yes.
A written complaint, they have a
We have a form.
form to fill out.
Now, Phil, that's what brings up the question. Maybe we as a board should consider, Dave Friend really doesn't want to do the blight enforcement. So maybe we should look into hiring.
Oh.
a bright-
Yeah, please.
I think you got some applicants. there.
Sounds more like volunteers.
I bet they would.
No volunteer, but
Oh,
all the door knocking I've been doing, you know how much white I've seen?
But maybe we as a board should look into hiring of light.
Can I get a 3% raise?
Gotta get hired first. It's not a bad idea to check out something just to open up possibilities because,
If he doesn't wanna do it, how do you go about getting into, like, we just, is that a hire and fire?
It's not possible. We can, I think we can hire one.
Yeah,
yeah, we
probably like the mechanical inspector, you
Yeah.
advertise.
will have to advertise. What I'm saying is I have to advertise.
Well, I got no problem with getting a new one, cause unfortunately, he hasn't done anything for anybody that I know of.
Thank you.
Right?
Yeah, you have a suggestion already.
Mark,
So we got, obviously got a cabin up north in our township up there, actually hires the sheriff's department to come out to do that. They actually have a
liaison officer that-
officer do it, and I tell you what, they don't play no games.
Interesting.
that's something we can look into.
That right there.
You call, they're out.
It's likely to be more.
That Monroe, we have like 2 patrolling cars for
Right.
the whole city of Monroe, so I don't think that's.
They wouldn't rush up here like they did.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
You're never gonna get.
There's options we'll look into. The problem is it still has to be a written complaint.
Yeah.
So that nobody goes around, I can't stand the way Worcester's house looks, no, I don't like the way Al's looks. You wanna put it in writing? I know people go, I don't wanna be retribution for 500 complaints. But it protects the township from acting on everybody that says, I don't like him, I don't like him, and start complaining, so.
We need a written complaint turned in.
Except for
You're
Monroe.
gonna get a bunch of them.
You can get it at.
I
his
don't care.
office. Is it anonymous or do you have to listen?
No, you have to put your name on it and then.
Does that go to,
I've
does that
never
go
done
to the
one.
people that, with my, if I did that, my name go to those people's house?
They would if they asked to see if I filed a
They have to
complaint.
see it, yes.
Oh, that's it.
Oh, yeah, you can't just make.
You can't make it anonymous, you have to sign it in freedom of information.
Okay,
So, all
All right,
right,
I'm not done yet, Phil, by the way.
well,
Well, you guys have been talking.
Just one more quick thing. When the vote comes up for this solar, I hope each and every one of you guys take it to heart of what these citizens of Milan Township want. Because I've walked and knocked and banged on doors for months and will continue to. And a lot of these people still do not know what's going on with solar. But what you tell them, they don't want it. So listen to your
Are
citizens,
you
please.
talking about for the ordinance? That's all we're working on is the ordinance.
No, not for the ordinance, I'm
he
talking about
said when it comes time to
when it
vote.
comes time.
When
I'm
it
talking.
comes time, everybody will be notified. Yes,
Everybody in the township will be notified of the vote or before the vote?
well, I would imagine, once it's presented to us, we'll let everybody know we have a proposal.
Because not everybody, I've talked to a lot of elderly people and they don't do the internet thing and they don't get the paper. They need something in the mail.
I think that survey would be a good idea.
I do too.
Well, we gotta get to that point, that's one step at a
Yeah, we
time.
don't even have anything.
But-
No, I'm just, it's just my.
I got you.
It's in the air.
All right, if I don't hear anything else, I'm gonna make a motion to adjourn. Moved and supported, all in favor, aye. Opposed, same sign, adjourn, thank you people for
Thank you.
your
Thank you.
behavior, thank you. Now it works.
Now.
Okay.